The Laws of Ascension, Chapter 104, Ogre Chief Nixfang and Lorik run to the ogre camp again. They run close to the fence and hear the ogres inside roar. There are more ogres walking around the fence now. 3 of the 5 on the platforms inside the fence jump over to chase him, so he ends up with 7 ogres behind him. Master, there are too many, Nixfang says as she begins running back to the others. Yeah, let's ditch them and return to the others. We'll need a new plan. Their chief's not so stupid to just keep sending a few after us. Lorik says before Nixfang takes off. She runs as fast as she can. After entering the woods and disappearing from the ogre's sight, she turns and runs around to the clearing. They run in from a different spot than the last time, surprising the others. They quickly run over to get ready to attack. We weren't followed. Calm down, Lorik says while getting off of Nixfang. Why weren't you chased? Sarah asks. We dragged 7 of them this time, Nixfang replies. I think the chieftain's onto us. Either that, or they're just not as stupid as we thought, Lorik adds. So we'll need a new plan, Sarah says while stretching. The light above them reflects off her daggers and into Lorik's eye, giving him an idea. What if you ride with me? We can drag the ogres into the woods again. Then, when we're out of sight of their camp, you can start picking them off with your homing dagger spell. Lorik asks Sarah. That could work, Sarah replies with a nod. All right, we'll go do that to dwindle them down before dragging the rest here. I imagine if I kill too many, they'll run back to camp. She adds before they get on Nixfang. She takes off, running back to the camp. The ogres all roar when they see Nixfang. They immediately give chase, and Nixfang turns around. She runs back into the forest, slower than before. Now, 9 ogres chase after them. There are 9. Can you handle it? Lorik asks Sarah. Yeah, I'll dwindle them down before we reach the others at least, Sarah replies before casting her spell. A magic circle appears on each of her wrists. A dagger made of golden light appears in her hands. She throws them up into the trees before casting the spell again. As the group of ogres chasing them passes, the daggers fly down and swiftly impale themselves into the skulls of 2 of the ogres. They drop to the floor dead, as Sarah throws another pair into the trees. 2 more die from it, and she draws her daggers from her hip. At the same time, Lorik readies his sword aura on both gauntlets. They're too close to the clearing and don't have time to cast another spell. Nixfang runs into the clearing at the same spot as before. Vera and Rona are both waiting behind trees with their weapons ready. There's 5, Lorik says as they run into the clearing. He jumps off Nixfang and readies his claws, and the 5 ogres run in behind them. Vea cuts through one's chest, nearly cutting it in 2 and killing it swiftly. Rowan bashes another with his shield to knock it back before finishing it with his mace. Sarah lunges for one, as Lorik swings his claws at 2. His sword auras shoot out and cuts through them with ease. They tried to block with their wooden clubs, but it didn't slow his sword aura down. Sarah dodges the last one's club and jumps up. She thrusts her dagger into its neck before kicking off it. She lands and gets ready to attack again, but it falls on its back. She stores the corpses before Nixfang comes back out. Good luck, Varia says as they take off again. They stop at the other ogre corpses, so Sarah can store them as well. Once they get back to the clearing, Lorik stops Nixfang. What's wrong? Sarah asks after they've stopped. The chieftain's waiting. Lorik replies while motioning to the gates of the camp. There's an ogre that's a bit taller than the others. It's holding a large, crude stone sword with a stone grip. The other ogres are all gathered around it, including the chief. That makes 17 ogres gathered. It looks like we'll have to fight them all next. Let's go get the others, Lorik says, causing Sarah to nod. They turn around quietly and leave, running back to the clearing. They slow down a bit before entering the clearing. We're alone, Sarah says before getting off. Did something happen? Vera asks. They've gathered at the gates. We can't drag them away anymore, Lorik replies. Then what's the plan? Rowan asks. We're going to fight them head on, Sarah replies, causing him to sigh. Can we handle that? Vera asks. We should be able to. If we need to retreat, though, Lorik will use his law field. He'll use his phantom wolves to hold the ogres back so we can leave, Sarah replies. All right, let's just be careful, Rowan says as Vera nods. The walk back to the ogre camp before stopping outside the clearing. They look in and see the group of ogres waiting. We're just going in and attacking? Vera asks. Pretty much. Lorik, can you summon your phantom wolves? The more numbers we have, the better. Sarah asks. Yeah? Lorik replies before summoning his 6 wolves. They jump out of the magic circle behind him before they stand up. They get ready to attack and start walking to the camp. I'll use Magma Body. If I cast it near the ogres, I can hurt them with the magma that shoots out to cover me. Rowan says, I'll use Bestial Body too, Lorik adds before casting the spell. Phantom wolf fur covers his entire body. He grows a fat nom tail and a pair of phantom wolf ears. They walk into the clearing, and one of the ogres notices immediately. They roar, getting the other ogre's attention. The other ogres turn and start roaring as well. The chief lets out a loud roar that silences the others. Then it raises its sword and points it at Lorik and the others. The ogres all run out, rushing to get them. Lorik, Sarah, and Vera slow down as they get close to colliding. Rowan runs ahead of them and casts Magma Body before they collide. Magma shoots out of the ground, enveloping 2 of the ogres. It rains down, burning most of the rest of them. But aside from the first 2, none of the others die. After the magma dies down and stops, Lorik rushes into the group of ogres. He slams his claws into one's chest, shooting his sword aura through it. He fused his Law of the Hunt into it, causing it to snake around to 2 more ogres. All 3 drop dead as the others start their attack. Sarah uses her speed and flexibility to dodge the ogres while counterattacking whenever possible. Rowan fights 4 at once, blocking their attacks and burning them at the same time. His shield sprays magma every time one attacks, as he's casting Magma Burst, so the ogres are hesitating to continue attacking him. Vera's cutting her way through the ogres. His blade is like a hot knife cutting through them like butter. She moves from one to another, staying on the move to avoid being surrounded. Lorik's wolves are in 3 groups of 2. They're mostly running interference and preventing the ogres from all ganging up on them. Humans! The ogre chief shouts before joining the fight. Lorik sees it run into the fight and charges it. He fills both claws with hunt-infused sword auras. Lorik swings his arm, shooting his left claw sword aura out. The chief sees it coming and jumps to avoid it. But the sword aura turns around and cuts into its back. Now that he's 9th tier, his hunt-infused sword aura travels 8.5 feet. It cuts the chief from behind, causing it to roar. Then it charges Lorik with an angry expression on its face. It raises its sword, and Lorik jumps to the side to dodge. He swings his right arm, shooting out his sword aura. The chief swings its sword to block it, but the sword breaks. Blood starts dripping from deep cuts on its chest and back. The chief glares at Lorik again before charging him. It raises both arms and goes to slam them down on Lorik. Lorik reaches out and grabs them. They push against each other, seemingly matched in strength. As they push, Lorik casts Heavy Wolf Bite, and the magic circle appears under the chieftain's feet. As the phantom wolf head jumps out to bite down on the chief, a magic circle appears under Lorik. This magic circle is a bright red color. Lorik tries to jump back to dodge, but the chieftain keeps a firm grip on his hands. The wolf's head bites down as a pillar of flames engulfs Lorik. The 2 struggle against each other, enduring the other's spell for a bit. Then Rowan slams his mace into the side of the chief's head. His grip on Lorik loosens, and Lorik pulls away. He jumps out of the flames as Vera finishes the chief. Are you okay? Vera asks him worriedly. Yeah, just a few burns. My bestial body spell blocked most of it. Lorik replies, causing her to sigh. Is that all of them? Rowan asks while looking around. Lorik sees that all the ogres are dead now, and he can't see any more inside. I can't see any more of them, Lorik replies. Good, then let's get going. We'll tell the chieftain of the village before leaving. Sarah says before storing their corpses in her ring. They turn around and walk back to the village. Once there, they report to the chief that they killed the ogres. She thanks them and offers them to stay another night. But they thank her before declining and leaving. They ride back to the capital and get back under the night sky. Instead of turning the task in today, they go to their dorms and sleep first. After breakfast, they go to the task center to turn in their task. After turning it in, they go sell the corpses to the trading hall. They each get 12,000 points for the task and the corpses. After turning the task in and selling the corpses, they all get a message from Cyrilda. She asks them to come to her office ASAP. They walk out of the trading hall and leave the academy. They walk through the illusion trees and to the castle. After entering, they make their way up to Cyrilda's office.